Hey guys, CrazyWargamerz Christian here. We're going to be making the second edition of our Chaos Courtyard. For this project you're going to need the exact same things: gloves, box cutter, and polystyrene. Try to use the polystyrene you cut from last time because you're probably going to be needing this. Alright, first thing I did was I measured out the distance for the rocks. These can be any size so long as they don't extend beyond your base that we made earlier. It is very important to mark these. These can be as high or as short as you want them. I'm making these rather tall so that they block line of sight during the games. This way it also provides for bloody close quarters fighting instead of just hopping over ruins. These are going to be classified as impassable terrain whenever we make them. First thing I did was I marked the long edge there, which is going to be pretty much the roof of the rocks. And then I marked each one edge by edge. Again, I decided to use a pen so it wouldn't bleed through like a marker does and doesn't make it too fat. And this makes it more exact for me. You can use a marker or a pencil or whatever you want. It's recommended you use a pen, that way it's more precise. Right after I got done measuring this, I just pretty much went straight to cutting. For this, you're going to want to put on your gloves. I'll restate this like I did in the last video. You're going to want to keep your gloves on so you don't cut your fingers off or cut them through. If you cut it through the box cutter, it hurts a lot, and it's recommended you not do it. It's recommended you wear gloves. If you're underage, then I recommend you use a parent to help you with this. First thing I did is I just cut it out. I'll make it go a little faster. I just cut out the actual shape before I cut out the blocks. It doesn't matter that they would be either roughed up or not. You can have the edges covered. We're going to be messing with those in just a sec. For the first one, what I did is I just basically carved off a few edges. I didn't carve the whole thing down. I wanted it to look rough and weathered down, like it was maybe in a perfect shape at some point, but weathering over years, decades, centuries, or millennia would have worn it down. This is a very easy process to do. All you do is just put the blade in the edge of the in the block there and just pull out. You just put it in there and yank it right out, and then it comes off like that. You want to leave one side flat so it'll fit whenever you put it on the Citadel base. Be sure to cut the corners because you don't want it to look like it was carved like that. You want it to look like it's been weathered down, it's been eroded away. That way it provides more of a natural feel to it, more of an ancient look to it. That's what I guess the kind of look I'm going for with this is an ancient look. You can make it look as new or as old as you want it to, but for this particular project it's going to look ancient. Or at least old. This was by far the easiest part of this entire process for the blocks, for the blocked walls. The hardest part was, of course, measuring and cutting, because the bigger the piece of polystyrene is, the harder it is to cut, simply because there's more resistance. After you're done cutting out the niches in the blocks, you want to go along the sharp edges and just slice down a little bit just to get away from the rough, sort of clean cut edges. Again, that depends on if you're wanting to look old or not. And try to keep it in your hands because it's a little flimsy. Now there's really no way to screw this up except if you just hack off a whole portion of the block, so it's near idiot proof. Which is why I'm surprised I did it so well. Or did it at all. Keep your blade clean as well, because if you leave it like that, and for instance, it'll sort of clog up and get in your way. So every now and then just wipe off the blade. You can go ahead and take off your gloves when you want to work with the sandpaper. It's a lot easier, and your hands probably won't cramp up as much. This is a very delicate process. You don't want to carve it down too much where it looks too much like a block. You still want to give it that rocky feel, but want to have a smooth edge so it still looks somewhat natural. So go ahead and leave the niches in there, but just sort of scrape away at the corners, at the more sharp edges, and give it a more natural look to it. This is very, very simple. This is also very very entertaining for you a little bit. It was entertaining for me. After that's done, just go ahead and get off all the scruffings there with your hands. I did. Get off all the little hang-offs there, and there you go. It's your first stone block. Again, try to keep the bottom edge sharp. Keep the edges flat on that. And basically, just repeat this process 4 more times. Alright, after that's done, there you have it. 4 stone blocks for the edges of the Chaos Courtyard, or whatever kind of courtyard you want it to be. Thanks guys for tuning in. Tune in next time whenever we actually go over gluing them to the base and such. Alright, subscribe guys.